Welcome, everyone. I know this week is such a busy week with Thanksgiving coming up and all the preparations that you're going to be having over the next month or so. But we wanted to take the time to show you a class tonight that is for we literally named it, as you could see in your email. This is 10-minute tarts. And these are just a wonderful way you can have delicious flavors, savory or sweet, super easy, with just great ingredients. And we'll walk you through the steps. We're going to start off with Leslie tonight, and she has the Everything Tart with all kinds, savory tart with all kinds of yummy vegetables, and she has some great tips for you. And I hope you just all enjoy.
Okay, welcome. All right, today I'm using puff pastry. I think that Rhonda is as well. And this is what the puff pastry looks like when you find it in the freezer section. So this is, there's 2 sheets inside, and it says you need to get it out about 40 minutes early so that it can defrost. I also learned today that it says on the back there that you can put it in the microwave for 15 seconds. So I did try that with another one. My microwave took a few seconds longer than 15. So you can try that if you're in a pinch and you want to make a whole bunch, or maybe all of a sudden several people are coming to your party you didn't know, and you can quickly put this together. It's very simple, and you can use a variety of ingredients. So we're doing that. All right, so I've let this sit out, and now I'm just going to roll it out. I'm rolling it out on the roll pad, the pastry mat. And the next step is to brush 1 teaspoon of the roasted garlic oil blend onto our pastry. And of course, if you don't have that one, you can add one of our others. There are lots of great flavors from which to choose. So we'll just brush this on here. The next step we'll have to do is poke it with a fork. I don't know if that's the proper baking term, but we want to make sure that we put some holes in here so it doesn't puff up too much. We want this to be a flat surface. The puff pastry, of course, that's right in its name that it's going to puff up. So we're going to poke it a little bit to keep some of that down. All right, once we do this, we're going to transfer it to our baking sheets here. So for this one, I'm using the flexi mat. I used the Silpat, the bonMAT, for another one. All right, so this one's ready to go. So this one goes into the oven at 425 for 4 to 5 minutes. So let me get that over here. Okay. All right, I have another minute until the other one's ready. Okay, so our ingredients that we're using tonight are 1 bell pepper, a 1/4 cup of Kalamata olives. Let's see here, 1 cup of Gruyere, and a 1/4 cup of Parmesan, and then a tablespoon of the French Pantry roasted garlic and chive blend, and of course celery, a little bit of that, and then some Telecherry black pepper. So those are our simple ingredients. I have another one over here, and I use some different ingredients, so you can try that also. At the end, this has 2 cups of arugula and then a drizzle of our dark balsamic, which was super tasty. So let me get this out, and we'll get this assembled here. All right. So now that we have this, we take the 1 cup of the grated Gruyere. And if you don't have Gruyere, if you can't find it in your store, Swiss cheese is a substitute that you can use. It's got that sharp flavor to it. There are others as well that you can use, and you can always Google that to find out which ones will work if you can't find that, but Swiss is pretty basic. All right, so once you get the cheese on here, then we lay the peppers down. So it's fun to have the different colors, so you can maybe choose different colors of peppers if you would like. There are going to be layers of vegetables on here, so you'll have lots of colors and tastes. All right.
That color you're building on there, that's going to be so wonderful.
It is so pretty. All right, so now I'm going to do the Kalamata olives. So this is going to be lots of fresh flavors. I love, of course, you know, who doesn't love pastry and cheese? This will have some great vegetables, some great flavor there. Now let's see. So I've got the red bell pepper, I've got the Gruyere, the red bell pepper, the Kalamata olives. Now we need to do the Parmesan. This is 1/4 cup. So it's always nice to do that ahead of time, right? I can save time right there. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is add a tablespoon of the roasted garlic and chive. So we'll just sprinkle this right on here. Adding more flavors. So we've got layers of flavor. All right, and I do think you can do everything with this tart. So you can switch out the oils, you can switch out the herb blends, and maybe keep the cheese the same in the puff pastry, but you could switch out the vegetables as well. All right, so I think we can add some of the salt and the pepper. And then this goes back in the oven for 5 minutes on the low shelf in your oven. And then you switch it after 5 minutes and put it in the middle shelf and go for 15. You can turn it, you know how Cindy always says to turn it midway through your baking. All right, we'll just add some of this on here. We can just do it straight on here if we like. Now, I don't know if you know this, but there's a little tiny knob here inside your grinder. And if you twist it one way or the other, it can become more tight or more loose. So you can either get more pepper coming out, either a fine grind or the loose. So let's see, I think this is ready to go. So this just will go in the oven for 5 minutes and then we will do something else. So let me grab this off to the side and I'll grab my finished one. All right, so this is the finished one that I have. Isn't it gorgeous? In this one, I used red onion, some mushrooms, and some different colored peppers. And again, I used the same oil and the seasonings. So the last thing that we need to do is add the arugula, and I forgot to get it out of the fridge. So let's see here. All right. So this recipe calls for 2 cups of arugula. And if you are going to have this at a party and it's not quite time to serve it, don't put the arugula out yet. Just wait until it's time to serve it. I don't know if you can see, but this is has a little bit of a bowl, a little indentation. So it's kind of puffed up nice on the side. So it's a good container for my arugula here.
Looks wonderful.
This will be tasty. I even think that some tomatoes, some cherry tomatoes or plum tomatoes would be great in here too.
Good idea.
So then we can drizzle it with the balsamic and cut it. I think that even that would be great to do on the plates. So beautiful presentation. Let me cut a piece here and let me grab my knife. Nice crunch to the puff pastry. And I'm using the cake server knife. You could feel confident using that on the long cooked pieces. Maybe I'll just have this whole thing as a piece. And maybe see how nice and flaky it is inside there. And we'll just put it on here and we have beautiful presentation. Lots of fresh flavors.
Wow.
And that's how quick and easy it is. So we're ready to have dinner. So Rhonda, let us know what we're having for dessert.
Okay, well, before I jump to that, just because my mind is so tickled with what you've done, is how you've layered the flavors and how you've made all of it work. And I love that. And I think it's just a great reminder for us to, kind of take a look at a recipe, see what kind of flavors you have, and then go check in your refrigerator bin, and you can come up with some amazing things. So this lemon cranberry tart, which I'm going to make, is literally just so fast and easy. You let things cool. Like I baked the puff pastry, and I let that cool. And I actually baked up my cranberries, but I really want to go through the process with you so boom, boom, boom. First of all, cranberries, they I actually freeze these. Airtight bag. I can have these for almost anything throughout the year. I love doing that when you can get really fresh ones this time of year. But the important part with cranberries, I think, is you really want to take just a few moments to make sure that you don't have anything that's a little bit soft or has any little wrinkles in it. Or like this one, just doesn't look ripe. I just don't think that would be the optimum. So I would take that out. Okay, so what we're doing is we're just taking a cup of cranberries and then a quarter cup of orange juice, a quarter cup of granulated sugar, and then just a pinch of salt. And we're going to simmer that in a saucepan. I already did that. It's cooled. And we just want to wait until the berries kind of pop open and the sauce thickens. Okay, so all those flavors get to just really meld together very nicely. So that cools to the side. And then we have our crust. And what I think here, I'm going to move this out of the way real quick. Our puff pastry, I want to show you. This I just took out of the fridge. So, actually, this is a good thing. This is a good thing because I should have taken it out a few minutes earlier. My kitchen's kind of warm. I've had the oven on. My wonderful husband found this great recipe for pecan pie, and he says, I want to make a pie this morning. So we were baking pies this morning. It was really fun. And that's pretty cool what he did. Okay, so what I've noticed with puff pastry is you end up with these kind of sections here. And if you try to open them too quickly, they crack. And you just kind of push together, right, to create that connection again. But sometimes they can crack while you're doing it. So it's really important to give your puff pastry that little bit of extra time so that that stays intact. Okay, just at least from what I have dealt with in the past. And what I think too is really nice with puff pastry, also to remember having it out at least 5 minutes, but don't go too much further. But that's especially in the summer. But just thinking, because puff pastry has to be chilled. That's the beauty of how it works. And so if you could let it get room temperature, it's going to lose its shape. It loses a lot of the properties that we need to make something really wonderful. So anyway, I'm going to check that again. I'm going to just let that stay for a minute. I was going to say, just thinking about this week and the holidays coming up and everything, how we really have a chance. I'm sure you all know, right? If it's a neighbor, if it's family, if it's a friend, if it's an office worker, is there somebody in the world that might not have somebody to share Thanksgiving with? Who can you think of, right? Or making a little extra so you can take it to an elderly couple down the road. I know we're all busy. We have a million things to do, right? I mean, just the way life is. But it's kind of, that Thanksgiving part of this week. It's kind of fun is the giving. And how can you give and how can you do something to make a difference for people? It seems like there's so a lot of activity and everything. And it's just kind of neat to know that you, me, all of us together, we're just like strategically placed everywhere that we can bring some goodness and do some extra fun, wonderful things without a lot of trouble. I mean, you can double a recipe or make two pies or do this or do that, but just think about that. And, you know, go from there. Now, what we're going to do here, I've got my flexi mat tray, and so this obviously is not going to be quite long enough. I don't want to do it too long, I don't really want it curling up the side. So I'm going to just go a little bit, and then I want to go back again, even that one corner. And let's see, doing my double check. That's pretty close. Okay. And because of our wonderful mat, our roll mat, if you're trying to think of a Christmas present for anybody, do you know what? I've had my roll mat now since 2000. That's 25 years. I wouldn't even know how to dream of not having this mat because nothing sticks. You just put a little bit of flour, a lot of things. I don't even use any flour. And then look at the deal. It's just so cool. You just take it to your sink. It's just nice. It's nice. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is put those little marks in it. And yes, yes, yes. You can have the use a fork, and that's great. But I'm kind of impatient a little bit. I don't know. I guess I just feel like I always have a lot going on. So now I'm really careful. This is not sharp, but it is pointed. And I just use my meat tenderizer. And I just try to go really, and it's not going to make any holes in my wonderful pan. I don't know what I'd do without it. But look how easy that is. And then you have a wider surface that you're covering. It's fun. It's like we all have our tricks, don't we? We just do our different things. Now, see, if the kids were around, I could have them do that. But is that easy or what? And it's just so quick, and that's ready to go. That's ready to go in the oven. And then I have this one that I've already taken out. Look at that golden, beautiful, beautiful, yummy, right? So now you can, for the next part, I think it's easier just to go ahead, and I just like to roll it or slip it off, or you can even pick it out of the mat, right? And I put it on a cutting board. Now, our products are perfect for our cake server knife. I use this all the time because it just takes such good care. Our products are valuable to us. We don't want anybody to wreck them because they're special. With puff pastry, I find when I'm trying to cut it, bake.
Rhonda, we just lost your voice.
Rhonda, can you hear us?
Oh,
Okay, you came back. Okay, you're gone now.
figure out how to get
There we
that
are.
call
There we
over.
are. Stop.
Okay.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
He calls me with a carload of kids that he's taking to their classes on Wednesday nights, and it's pretty fun. But or Tuesday nights. But I need to let him know. Anyway, I'm not sure where. Can you tell me where I cut off? Because I'm not sure where I was at. Does anybody want to jump in there?
You were
Did you want?
talking about the cake server knife.
Great. Okay. I love using this before the puff pastry to cut it, to shape it before I bake it. But I love using this to do when it's baked because you really want, because the whole beauty, here I'm going to be real careful. This is so light, but see how beautiful this is? This just golden puff pastry. It's just wonderful. So just to say that. And so I'm going to cut these and I'm going to spread, but we have lemon curd, which is so lovely. It calls for a cup, but I'm going to kind of see, if I'm feeling extra generous or something like that. And I'm going to just put that along and then spread this out. And I don't have to really leave a border so much because we want everybody to feel like they didn't miss anything, right? On this kind, because we're going to be cutting it up to serve it. So let's see here. Now the offset spatula would be a really great tool to have and use for this also. I just happen to have this. I love our mini spatulas. I've told every one of my customers, please, oh please, make sure you add that to your list. They don't cost that much, and they're really wonderful. Okay, so I'm just kind of spreading that around. I want to make sure that I'm not jipping anybody, right? And then let's see. Okay, here. Okay, great. And there's a little bit more in the jar. Maybe I'll have to eat that later. I don't know. It's so funny. Isn't it so nice after dinner, like, you have this little jar of strawberry jam and the person who gets to lick the spoon, they're just like so lucky, right? Now, if this were a square, if I had put this in the square mold, because that's the fun of this, you want to change things up. Maybe if you were doing the savory, you would in the rectangle shape, right? You might think, well, I could do this dessert in the square, and I think we have a photograph showing it in the square, and it's just really, really so charming. And the way you would do that in the square shape is you would spoon this cranberry into the center of that square, so that if you're doing little pieces, then you want to make sure everybody gets that. Now, in this case, I just thought it would be fun to, here, I'll show you. I'll talk while I work, right? But I thought it'd be nice to have little squares. I think that's kind of fun too. And, it's easier to pick up. And so, the nice part about everything is it's your kitchen. Those are your friends. That's your family that you love. So, you're just kind of figuring out what you want to do. Now, I'm just going to get a cloth real quick because I need to wipe that before I make another cut. Okay, here we go. Are you guys already thinking how easy this is? I just think this is so cool. And see, the chef knife really does make a nice clean cut, which is what you want. And so I'm thinking I'm going to do in thirds, again, do whatever you think. And that's probably enough cutting, but at least you have the idea, right? Of what we're trying to show you. Okay, so then, here, let me wipe my fingers again. Boy, am I sticky tonight. Okay. I think I might have, should have gotten a wet cloth. That would have been a real good idea. Okay, so now in your, putting your lovely cranberry, and see how this is thickened up so nicely. So of course it starts off really runny, but then as it cools, it's simmering, and they're popping and it's starting to thicken, but it's in that cooling process that you really get this really set up so nice. And I like using 2 spoons. There's all kinds of things you can do, right? But do you see how cute this is? Just right there. Right. Well, you can't see that it's in the center. Let me break this apart a little. I want you to be able to see um, why this works, why it looks so cute. And so, I mean, you want enough, but the cranberry and the orange, they go together so beautifully. I mean, they just taste so wonderful that you don't have to overdo it. Don't have to overdo it at all. But if you're getting an idea, now see how the outside kind of puffed up more? So that's, maybe you could, if you have 2 serving trays, you might want to put the little ones from the middle, or you might even want to change the size and make these smaller or these bigger, or, whatever you need. But I think, so fun about it is that tart, that lemon curd, just gives you that kind of that zing, and then that cranberry all works, and then that puff pastry is so delicious. And then I have, you could just put one darling little leaf if it will stay on there. Isn't that just so cute? And here, I will lift that up for you to see. If I can get a hold of it. But isn't that so cute? And, it's just so pretty. All the yumminess and the heart that we put into our food, I think means so much. And I hope you all, will just have a fun time, whatever you're planning, just enjoying making incredible memories for everybody to treasure. And I know, Eric, you had specials that you were going to go over. I know we received many of the specials via email, which is really great. And everybody's welcome to go back and check. These are really good. There's different times of year. Some are a little bit more extensive than others. But if you want to have a check on that, do that. But did you want to point out anything, Eric? I could, I guess, but I have to cheat and look at my phone. Let's see here. I'm trying to find it with my sticky fingers. What do you think?
Posted some specials in the chat, and I know
Oh, very good. Very good. Okay.
so buy one, get one bonMAT. And I know the Flexi is $45, so that's saving over $20 on that one. The great deal.
I know, they're great. They're just such great deals.
Well, those are just precious.
Eric was having a little bit of trouble with his computer system earlier. So I don't know if maybe that's what's caused a little bit of a delay. So I would love, actually, you know what? Oh, I can't believe my sticky fingers. I'm going to have to wash everything. However, I just wanted to say, I thought it would be so fun today to say hello to Adriana Becker. Hello. And Barb Gustafson. And, oh, I know, an amazing piano teacher, last name. Bonnie Driggers, or Driggers. I'm going to say your first names because I don't want to make it. I'm a Rhonda without an H. I know what it's like having your name messed up. Okay. Kathy Hines, Chris Docker, Debbie Sprouse, Donna Voigt, Gina Servideo, Heidi Galen, Kathy Weary, Linda Servideo, Marvel Nofziger, again, please forgive, Sherry Bell, Sue Huffman, Terry Munson, Tiffany Scharf, Vicki Howard. We just are so happy that you're on this call with
Watch
us.
the camera.
I just wanted to say a shout out to all our wonderful customers that get on our calls. We love having you in our classes, and I hope you're looking forward to a lot more. Please tell your friends, get the word out, because we love doing this for you very much. And Eric, if you had anything to say, please go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and check out tomorrow morning. You're going to get an announcement. Going to be some great sales starting tomorrow. So
Wow.
watch your email, and we hope you all have a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, Kathy. I see that you love the classes. Thank you so much. We love doing these for you, all of you.
One bonus thing I saw by looking in the chat really quickly was that holiday 20 code. So you use all caps holiday 20. And that's inside the holiday cookbook. So look at that too, because that's on one of the final pages there. So
That's really great. And here I am adding to it. I forgot to tell you something really cool. Now, you see the glisten a little bit. I can see it more perhaps than you. The lemon curd has that wonderful glistening to it. But if you just put like our Provence apricot jam in the microwave just for a few seconds, it becomes this amazing glaze. Pastry chefs love doing that on top of their tarts, just to brush across the top, and then it adds this wonderful, it gives that, yes, that extra flavor dimension, which is wonderful, but it also, we eat with our eyes, so it's kind of fun to be able to think of that too. And I'm going to quit because I'll just keep thinking of more things I want to tell you.
hey, well, join us next week. We'll see you then.
All right, thank you, everyone, and keep in mind that
Bye-bye.
20% off coupon works with sale items right now. It's a one-time use coupon, but on top of the discount you see online, you get an extra 20% off on top of that.
Wow, that's great. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.